few seconds to go.
Oh. A
few seconds ago.
Let's see. Oh. Are we live?
We've been live.
Okay. So now what do we do? Hi, Linda. Hi, Joe.
Oh, there we
go.
go.
Now. The dogs are here.
So how does it work? We're the only video, like we talk and answer questions that come up here, is that right?
Ed Victor. Ed, is that right?
Help us. Help us.
I'll go look at my phone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, people can comment. All right, so, I'll ask you questions.
Okay. I see little thumbs coming by.
So, Mr. Rundgren, how did this work out with the House of Blues and Chicago Sinfonetta?
How did it work out? I thought I was supposed to answer their questions.
Well, nobody's asking yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I asked if anybody can hear me. Hear me? And you, Tommy, can you hear me?
Oh, don't make that face.
I don't see my typings coming up there. Oh, here they go. Oh, it's all down here.
Oh, wow.
It's not auto-scrolling for some reason.
Oh, that's weird.
It needs to auto-scroll.
Well, you're the...
Let me see, there's a little thing up there. What's that say?
Edit close.
Oh, video insights. Okay. Oh, okay. You can hear me. This stupid thing doesn't auto-scroll for some reason. I have to manually go down to the bottom of the question list.
Well, this is exciting.
Sweet. Yeah, this is weird. Sorry, I got to keep pushing up the text list.
Want me to push it up?
Oh, I can do that. Okay. All righty. Are people still joining?
Yeah, well, I think they know. They're there.
Okay. What's ding mean?
Tell us about the show, says Ed
tell us about the show.
From Denver, Colorado.
Okay, this is quite obviously a benefit for the Spirit of Harmony. We started planning this like last year sometime. And it'll be a 2-set show. There'll be, of course, a set with the Sinfonietta. That'll be the second set. And that'll include a lot of the things that I've done with the Metropole Orchestra, a few new charts, and then there'll be a first set, which will be my usual band, and we'll do none of that weird, unpredictable stuff. We'll do some fan favorites that don't necessarily overlap with the second show, and we'll have a few little guest spots during the first show as well. So, people still joining. Next show. Uh-oh, it looks like everybody's getting a different picture. Mine looks great. Maybe it's just because I just got out of the shower.
It's still raining.
It's what?
It's still raining.
Well, I guess some people get a decent picture, and then the more people that join, the more crunkly it gets. So some say it's not working for them. Very psychedelic. Yeah, psychedelic. Okay. Oh, it looks like it's starting to auto scroll now.
Okay. Someone asked if you could talk about the foundation and what the foundation's doing.
Okay, for those of you who don't know anything about the foundation, we're about 5 years old, I guess, or at least the idea was 5 years old. We had a fan camp in Nottoway outside of New Orleans, and the fans wanted to do something for the city of New Orleans because it hadn't been that long after the hurricane. Decided it should have something to do with music, and we found a program in the lower ninth ward that needed help. Fans all got together and collected $10,000, and we made a big novelty check and gave it to the program, and everyone enjoyed the experience so much that they said we have to do something more permanent, and that's where the original idea for the foundation came from. And when we started the foundation, we didn't have like a clear goal of what we wanted to focus on. Would it be like individual programs like the one at Nottoway, or would it be a larger agenda? And so we started consulting with various people, both in terms of music programs that they were running and also in terms of actual hard music research. And we discovered that if you give kids formal musical education while their minds are still in a plastic state, that it changes the way they process sound, and it improves the way that they learn for the rest of their lives, even if they don't actually go on to be musicians. So we realized this is what we want to focus on. We want to emphasize the importance of music education, particularly in public schools and especially at the earlier grades. And so the way we accomplish this is twofold. One is we give anyone who wants to advocate for music education in their local districts, we give them ammunition that they can take to their school boards and county boards and stuff like that to argue for the necessity of having music education in the school. And the second thing we do is that we are kind of a music program dating service, in that we try to connect various entities who have needs with people who can provide those needs, and also create synergies between multiple organizations that are trying to accomplish pretty much the same things we are, which is to get kids into music education one way or another, especially when they're young. So that's what the foundation is about. That continues to be our emphasis. Fundraising events like this are basically for our operating expenses. We don't do a whole lot of fundraising. We don't do a lot of endowments. In other words, we don't just lay cash on people. We would rather these people find local support that will be sustained, rather than us trying to go out and find money for them. A lot of these programs really depend on the neighborhoods they're in and the support that they get locally. So if you want to know what's happening with the money, we use it to essentially pay for our servers and the few employees that we have, and that allows us to continue the mission. Next question, please. Who's Richard? Are you talking about our conductor? I'm here.
Is there a way to donate?
Is there a way to donate? I believe you can just go to the Spirit of Harmony site at any time, and there is a link there to make your donations, or I think possibly to make donations directly to certain programs that we're partnered with. So yes, you don't have to be at the show to support the Spirit of Harmony. A lot of the reason why we do these things is consciousness raising. We started out with essentially support from our fan base, but we realized that we can't simply go back to the same well all the time and expect our fans to be the entire support group for the Spirit of Harmony. So a lot of the reason why we do these public events is to raise general awareness of what we're doing and hopefully get people to participate even after the show is over. I see there are people are interested about the shawl betters who will be participating in the show. They're going to do a song. Some of you have seen it. Some of you have yet to see it, and I don't want to spoil it beforehand.
It's amazing.
Yeah, okay. From the Peanut Gallery. Also, we'll be doing at least one chart that the shawl betters have submitted for the orchestra. They're working on an ongoing project that is based around my record initiation, and we're trying to essentially get enough charts that we can put together a package that somebody might be interested in promoting. So this is essentially another step in that process, you know, getting these charts all together and getting them played so we can see how they sound and also have some actual evidence, some recordings of the charts so we can use those to help pitch the project. Are you talking about the House of Blues? I am not absolutely sure whether I've ever played the House of Blues in. Yes, I have played the House of Blues. Yeah. Now I remember. I remember the prayer breakfast. And we can never get our equipment up on time because of the gospel group. So.
Wiener dog pics? What?
Wiener dogs. We don't have any wiener dogs anymore here.
We do too. Well, we took them.
There are none here, you know. There's no two wiener dogs here any longer. They got too old and couldn't get up and down the stairs. And we're pretty much committed to shelter dogs from now on. Someone, let me see now. Someone asked about the Zappa song that we're doing during the Unpredictable set. Yeah, this is all nestled within the larger touring schedule that I'm on this year. We'll be going off to Madison a couple of days after that. Oh yeah, what's the event that's happening the night after the Sinfonietta concert?
The Intoxicats.
Michele's new band is making their public premiere. What's the name of the place that is at? Martyrs. Yeah, the club called Martyrs. It'll be on the 9th, the evening of the 9th. What time do you start playing?
Let's see. Chuck Wiggins is the opening act.
Chuck Wiggins, and
this is the magic accordion.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got to see this.
I didn't put makeup on down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck is amazing, and Intoxicats are really amazing. We've got Prince's horn section, players from our drummer, who's Brian Setzer's drummer, and he's amazing. I keep turning around when I'm singing just to listen to him. We did a gig at. I should go in here, huh? Okay. We did a gig at. It wasn't a public gig. It was at Tiki Oasis, a big Tiki convention. And our trombone player was so great that the crowd kept chanting more trombone. So it's
more trombone.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. Anyway, I'm not in the frame, but so yeah, check it out. Martyrs the next night. Todd's going to be there too, and we're going to have a fun set.
Not participating.
Not playing. So he's good enough to play with our band, but he's not gonna.
Another point to remember. As with most of our events, there's an instrument donation drive going on. If you have an old instrument you don't play anymore, we have connections to people who will refurbish those instruments and get them into young players' hands. So if you got an old guitar or clarinet or something that's been sitting in the closet, definitely dig it out and bring it along.
To Martyrs. To both shows?
To both shows,
yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
To, I believe to both shows. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, and your saxophones. More sax.
What else? Sorry, we're reading.
Wait a minute. You have a tiki bar in Columbus?
Oh, we gotta go.
Oh, this is not tiki bar. They used to have the best tiki bar in Columbus.
Oh, that's true. You've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kahiki.
But no longer there. Sad. You're sending a wiener dog. Who's sending us a wiener dog? I hope it's not a live one.
What?
Okay. Guitar amps. Somebody, I guess, had an equipment question. There's actually, what's the name of the magazine? There's a guitar player magazine, might be called Premier Guitar or something like that, that just did an article about the stuff that we were using on the Utopia tour, and it essentially covers my instruments. Actually, no, the stuff we're using on this current tour. I'm a Line 6 guy. I use Line 6 Pro HD solid state amp emulation. I just have done that for years, and that's where I'm at. Okay.
And yes, it's confirmed. You can bring instruments to both shows.
Yes, both shows. And also, if you have other kinds of, it doesn't have to be a musical instrument. It can be some musical adjunct. We often find that we're buying like music stands and things like that, or guitar cables, or old pedals, or even amplifiers if you're not using them. Anything that you think a musician might need. Got an old bag of guitar picks somewhere? Sure, bring that. We'll make sure it gets into somebody's hand. You'd be surprised at the sort of basic things that some of these programs need. You know, they're fine, except they just need guitar strings or rosin for the violin bows. So
no pianos.
Yeah, bring a piano. If you got a piano, bring the piano.
No.
If you can get it there, bring the damn piano.
We can't get it in the front door.
If you can get it in the front door, bring it.
Trippy, no trips.
No pianos, please. Okay. All right, no pianos. What if somebody comes with like a vintage Hammond organ? Are we going to turn that away?
No, we're going to bring it home.
No. What's that dong? Oh, you mean the little thing that goes off? I think that's on our end. That's when somebody sends a message directly to us through through Apple Messages.
What's that, dong?
I thought, that's not showing, is it?
Pixelation is making Todd look like a green man. That's because his shirt's all green.
Yeah, we understand the video part is not necessarily making it intact to everyone's device, but there's the fun.
Kim asked if it was fun to be home. Was it fun the past week?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to be home for, it'll be all of 2 weeks by the time I leave. So it's been a busy year.
What about the past week?
The past week has been not that busy. I finished mixing finally the Utopia Live show that we did for the video that'll be coming out. In what form, I do not know. But essentially the audio is done. I believe the video is done. So we're just waiting for a release date on that. The year going forward, as I say, after we do our Sinfonietta and Toxicats gigs, we continue with our Unpredictable tour for another couple of weeks. Then I go to LA to rehearse for the David Bowie tribute thing that's going to be in Iceland, I believe, on the 8th and 9th of October. Then we go to Todd Stock West.
Woo!
In Navarro, is that it?
Yeah.
In Navarro in Northern California. We do a better part of a week there, and then we're off to Australia for Tataru. And then we come back and do yet a third leg of unpredictable touring, ending up on Thanksgiving weekend in Honolulu, Hawaii.
With your book coming out.
Oh, yes. And we had somebody asked about the book. The book has finally been put to bed officially. It'll be out this year. It'll be out for Christmas. So you can sort of count on that. Got a piece of especially good news this morning in that the initial release is expected to be in hardback, which apparently is unusual for musicians' biographies because I guess they're so trashy. But so the book will be out before the end of the year. Then the shit will really hit the fan. And
Andy's got some wild questions.
what was
the last one was, what's the worst advice someone gave you?
It's probably my original guitar teacher. You know, they'd say, look at the paper and remember to pick down. Pick down and look at the paper. Yeah, I could have been a union guy or something. That would have worked. Tataru is, you know the exact dates?
Yes, no. I'm gonna go look. I'll go look.
It's a couple days. It's a little fuzzy in there because we're doing a couple things. We're going a couple days early. And then after the Tataru, believe it's after the Tataru event, we're doing 5 dates with a band of local musicians in around Melbourne and Sydney and some of those crazy Aborigine named towns that I can't pronounce.
Okay. Camp Navarro, Toddstock West. You can go on the Toddstock site. Is going on October 11th through the 16th. And that's in Northern California. It's going to be a very intimate gig, so check that out. And then we go to, I had Tataru on here. Oh, there it is. Tataru in Australia. Sydney starts on October 22nd. And then that goes, we play, or you play, in Australia. Oh, actually, I get to sing backup. Did you know that?
Oh, how lovely.
So, yeah, we play until the 29th, I believe, of October, or maybe even the 30th. And then we come home. Well, then I come home, you don't.
Eric's license plate story. Do I know that?
What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Elliot says it's October 22nd through the 24th in Australia, but then right after that, we do a ton of gigs.
5, exactly.
That's a ton.
Okay. Sorry, Perth. We're not getting to Perth.
They wanted us, but they asked too late. Because you already booked stuff.
What was that? Oh, Perth wanted to do something?
Yeah, but we'd already booked you home and other gigs.
Oh, well, Perth is so far away, too. Oh, me and Freddie Mercury? Yeah, that picture's in the book. There will be a photo section in the book as well.
How many will be at Toddstock West? Right now, it's a very intimate 100, which means we all get to hang out and know each other really well. Bean says she's tired. Hi, Bean.
But he's going to be there, right?
You mentioned Cleopatra.
Sand in your shorts.
Oh, Tiki and Nikki Atlanta should be opening any day now. But we'll blast it. There are always problems with county stuff at the last minute, and they tell you all these things at the last minute. The fire department says, "Oh, you got to do this." Like, oh man, that would have been nice to know months ago. So any day now, we'll open Atlanta, and we'll do a big push out there.
You know you're not on camera. Right?
I know, I'm not, but I don't have makeup on except lipstick, so I'm hiding. I'm hiding over here.
Okay. Someone asked about what was it? Hold on, it was back there. Something interesting. But
About the Cleopatra agreement?
oh yeah, about the thing with Cleopatra. Um, we are in talks with Cleopatra. We've come to kind of oral agreement. We haven't hammered out all the details of it yet, but I'm going to be getting my own imprint on Cleopatra Records, and the specific thing that we'll be doing is collaborations, more collaborations. In case I hadn't made it clear, I'm way into the collab thing. I got a whole bunch more artists that I'll be working with for the next year or so. Hopefully, get a bunch of them done before the end of the year. We may not release them as whole records. We may release them as songs, as that seems to be the way kids like to consume their music nowadays. And then when we get enough of them, we'll release them as albums. So that's the deal with that. And as soon as we have any more concrete, I'll let you know.
And Eric asked, how'd you get hooked up with the Residents?
The Residents. Well, that was a time in the Bay Area when, you know, being involved with computers was a much more exciting and creative thing than it ultimately turned out to be. Now it's all like social media and stuff like that. But in the early days, there were these new formats like CD-ROM. Suddenly you had, as well as music, you had a visual palette to play with. And so a lot of people sort of pooled their resources in order to get this done. Apple Computer was a real nexus for this because Apple developed a thing called QuickTime, which was the first kind of file format that allowed you to put sound and video and other things into one package and have it all sync up. And so we all knew each other from like going to developers conferences, doing showcases that highlighted the various technologies. At one point, I directed the live video for an event that the Residents did for a bunch of people. I think it was NEC or another Japanese company. And it was pretty interesting to watch the very staid Japanese businessmen try and figure out what was going on with a Residents show.
Oh, Denise says the Ides of March went to work with you.
Ah, okay. Well, like I say, I'm into all sorts of collabs. Collabs to me are very flexible. It can be writing or just adding a part or taking an old demo that kind of has hit a dead end and trying to revive it into something new. So yeah, tell all of your friends that I'm collaborating. Although I have quite a list of potential collaborators already, so that means I may not get to something right away. Tickets still available. It's a big weekend, by the way. We didn't mention much what was happening at Notre Dame. We're doing a mini residency. Me and the band will be at Notre Dame. We're there to kind of help the students put on a show of their own. It'll be a kind of a broad variety of different presentations, all basically inspired by the students themselves and starring them. And we'll be there to help, play along if we need to help with arrangements, get pointers and such. And then that big show will be on Friday night, the night before the Sinfonietta show. So it's a chock-a-block weekend of music, Friday night.
Hey, it's been
Notre
half
Dame.
hour. Backup says he needs to get breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Talk show.
So anyway, tickets available for all these events. Spirit of Harmony is involved in some way or another in all these events. So you help us out every time you buy a ticket to any one of them. And I think we've only been booked for like a half an hour here. So
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
There's Rat Face.
That was Tiki, not Rat Face.
Rat Face. There you go.
Bye,
Big
everybody.
weekend. The biggest one I've ever had.
Aloha.
Aloha. See you weekend.
Always good.